Morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing? I know everybody was like, who is going to be the special guest? It is a surprise special guest. I'll tell you why. It's Corinne Clark. No relation. I know my name is Amy Clark. This is Corinne Clark. We are not related. Be kind of cool if we were, but we're not.
If you want.
I know, right? Corinne is she is the founder of Free Press Fail, and she's also one of our producers. She's fabulous.
Yeah, I actually get to work on this show. It's the best.
Yeah, and she's easy on the eyes. And so we thought, that's an added bonus for everybody. She's brilliant and beautiful, and she's going to be hanging out with me this morning because Mock is in the hospital, and she has a kidney stone. So she's going to be undergoing surgery today at around 2:30. I'll be reminding everybody at the end of this broadcast to make sure that they send all of their prayers her way. And I was talking to her this morning, and she's like, yesterday and today she was unable to get a surgeon. And so this afternoon she's going to undergo surgery. Hopefully she will be stone free by later this afternoon. And then she will be back with us, I hope, on Friday. That's the goal. So in the meantime, it's me and Corinne. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be talking about all the things.
And girls.
Yes. And so you will love this. Corinne is a millennial, and she will give us a millennial perspective, fabulous perspective on things. And I think you're going to find that she's a lot of fun because we love Corinne. So let's get started. Let's just jump right in. There is a lot going on, you guys. First of all, I wanted to let you guys know, I know you're going to be very excited about this. Tim Walz is going to be running for re-election. And he's got a video out, and I thought you guys would want to see it. So let's check that out.
Come on. I've been to every corner of Minnesota, and there's nothing like it. It's the best place on earth with the best people. I've seen how we help each other through the hard times. And boy, we've seen terrible times this year. I'm heartbroken and angry about the beautiful people we lost to gun violence. But it's in these moments we have to come together. We can't lose hope, because I've seen what we can do when we work together, like passing paid family leave and the child tax credit, cutting taxes for the middle class, while also making the largest investments in public safety. We've raised graduation rates to the highest ever, worked across party lines to balance the budget while protecting education, and been named one of the best states for children and one of the best for business. But we're not done yet, and that's why I'm running for re-election. I want to make Minnesota a place where everyone has a chance to succeed, in every corner of the state, where we lower costs for hardworking people who raise our crops, weld our steel, and teach our kids, crack down on fraud, and protect our tax dollars. Help working class families get affordable health care instead of kicking them off it.
I love how everybody's like, bullshit in our comments. And I like the truck prop. That's my absolute favorite. That's not his truck. It's not.
This video was going around a group text of mine the other day, and somebody just said, the only thing this man inspires is lifetime celibacy. Like, he's the least inspiring person ever. We can play his entire ad, and I'm not worried about anyone voting for him. Yeah, I give him free ads, and it's not going to help him.
Do you think? I feel like he's on Ozempic. Am I the only person that feels like he's been Ozempic-ified? Like he's like all these other politicians that are trying to lose weight. I feel like he's doing that. And also, I like the flannel and I'm a tough guy and I'm standing next to a truck and I'm like, I'm folksy. I'm just like, it's just not, listen, just because you put Carhartts on doesn't mean you're like a Carhartt person. Like, everybody wants to wear Carhartts until it's time to do Carhartt shit, And he's that guy.
Yeah.
Totally that guy.
Such a feminine energy. He just puts that coat on. It doesn't do anything. He kind of walks like a girl. Every time I see him, I'm just like, very uninspiring.
Tampon Tim.
Yes.
Tampon Tim, everybody. And we shouldn't forget, because he talks about gun violence and violence in general, and he's preaching to all of us about that. We cannot forget that he's the guy that's been talking about fascism for like the past year, which has led to some of the violence on the left that has caused some of the things that we've seen over the past week. Just refresh your memory with this video.
So it isn't much else. Don't give them the power. Look, are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes, they're going to do all that. But don't lift these guys up like they're sometimes the heroes. Everybody in this room knows, I know it as a teacher, a bully has no self-confidence. A bully has no strength. They have nothing. The fascists depend on fear. The fascists depend on us going back. But we're not afraid of weird people.
He should be. He can't be afraid of weird because his wife is like right behind him. She's one with the eyes, and like sniffing tires.
It's crazy. He in his ad he was talking about how he has invested so much in public safety and public health. It's like, well, where's it going? Because no one is safer, and it seems like Minnesota as a whole is mentally ill. Someone needs to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And he was the one that was all about the vax mandates and churches closing while liquor stores were open. I mean, the whole he handled COVID so horribly, and people are so upset about that. So hopefully he will not get reelected. He's a complete disaster. So we will keep our eyes on that. Quickly, I want to talk about ReadyWise, you guys, real quick. September is National Preparedness Month, and it's a perfect time to make sure that you're ready because you guys, we're all in danger, girl. And you can buy one, get one free on the 72-hour emergency food kit with free shipping. Go to ReadyWise.com for 10% off with the code CHICKS10. I know that we have our stuff in our little container outside in our garage. It's like our little storm shelter, but it's sort of like our emergency shelter outside. That's like kind of like it's built into the ground, and that's our place to go in case of like a natural disaster or whatever. But we have all of our ReadyWise food, we have water, we have generators, we have a bunch of stuff out there ready to go, and you should just always be prepared. It gives you peace of mind, so you can count on ReadyWise to help you do that. Go to ReadyWise.com today, use code CHICKS10 for 10% off your order. Do that. Make sure that you do that. Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, I thought this was really nice. I just wanted to mention this today. I know a lot of people are going in. I think this is kind of becoming a trend where they're using guest hosts for Charlie Kirk's show. And a couple of the guys from Daily Wire, I believe that Matt Walsh was there and Michael Knowles was there too. And they gave $1 million to TPUSA, which, you know, is pretty neat because they're trying to put forth the notion that Christianity is really important. People that are really into their faith, they need to promote that more. This is a really neat video. I just wanted to share it with you guys.
We at Daily Wire, we trust you at TPUSA to do it. I mean, that's really the answer. We're willing to provide, and we are providing any level of material support, any level of support on the ground, boots on the ground, helping you to do what Charlie would have wanted to be done here. And I think that the reason that everybody trusted Charlie, the reason we're all mourning Charlie, is because nobody did it better. You spelled out two of Charlie's goals. He said, you know, he wanted to bring people back to Christ and bring people back to church and back to biblical values. And he wanted to keep the MAGA coalition together.
And expand it.
And the question is how you do that. And the answer is you focus on the first, and the second is a byproduct. Okay, the answer is that, as Matt says, you have to unite around something. And yeah, we can unite in the short term around the fact that there are a bunch of people who hate our guts and want to murder us, which of course is true. But long-term unity, big movement change, which is what Charlie was really trying to drive, and why he went to talk to people who disagree, is about building around those core values. And so the long-term vision, yeah, we'll have our petty squabbles, and yeah, some of those squabbles will be more than petty, but the long-term vision has to be built around those original biblical conservative values that Charlie stood for, things like the Bible, things like free markets, things like family, you know, all those things.
Yeah, I think these are good values to get around. So I don't see anybody would want to poo-poo this. I see people saying stuff like, oh, is Daily Wire, you know, in financial trouble? I don't think so. I mean, I feel like they've done pretty well.
Money, so.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, if somebody was giving me $1 million, I wouldn't look at them and be like, I think they're in financial trouble. I feel like they're probably okay. And I do love the alliances that are being built and people that are supporting TPUSA. I think it's all good, especially if we're centering around faith and family and freedom and the Constitution. How can that be a bad thing? You know?
I love that message from Ben too, because I think there was some kind of nasty criticism that like, yeah, we can't really replace Charlie with Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro is not a Christian. And I didn't really think it was the time for that kind of comment, but I think it's very humble and kind of Ben to say, like, I know I'm not the replacement for Charlie. We do need Christian leaders. We do need to promote Christianity on college campuses. And I want to empower people who can do that to do that. And I thought that was very sweet.
It is. It's very sweet. I love it. I thought that was really neat. And so I love to see these alliances being formed. Kash Patel, he was basically on trial yesterday. And I'm trying to figure out why. I guess the whole notion behind it was because they feel like he's politicizing the office, which is rich. Just like, okay. And there's partisan behavior on his part.
It's a first. It's never happened before.
Never. This has never happened. And because he's firing people, he goes in there, he's new at the job, and he's like, okay, well, these people hate me and they hate Trump, so I'm going to fire people. I just find that whole notion to be crazy, because if somebody goes in and they become a new CEO of a company and all those people in the company freaking hate you and hate everything you stand for, of course you're going to clean house. Like, you can tell these people have never worked in the private sector. It's just crazy to me. But I feel like that was such a big part of why he was there yesterday, is because some of these people are just so butthurt that so many people got fired, or even a handful of people got fired. So there were a lot of altercations yesterday, a lot of people that were fighting with him, a lot of viral moments, gotcha moments. I think that so much of this now is performative, what we see. And it's not even helpful, but I feel like we got to show it. So if you missed some of the craziness yesterday, we've got Kash with Spartacus, Cory Booker. That's the first one I'm going to show you.
Rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is
I
my
follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tear
my
this country
time
apart.
to address
There should be a
your
unifying.
falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can try
embarrassment
all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not
Senator,
take
it is my
responsibility
time.
for what
You had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making a
time is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what
you
my
tell-
time is. You can't lecture me.
You can tell me
Sir,
my.
It's just so stupid.
He practiced that one in the mirror. Like, I'm so confident.
He did, didn't he?
This whole speech. And it didn't matter what Kash was going to say. He was going to forge forward with that exact speech no matter what.
Right. He just wants to be on television. That's all that guy cares about. And they're so concerned about people getting fired, which to me is just absurd. Of course people are going to get fired. It goes back to the whole idea of new leadership. People are going to get fired. That's how everything works in the real world. But so here's a clip about that.
I announced at the beginning of this meeting that this back and forth talking over each other doesn't work. And I said, if that happened, I asked Patel not to respond.
Mr.
Okay, that wasn't it. This is it. There we go.
I'm not going to get into personnel decisions that we made.
So you're not accountable for your decisions to take people who've served our country so admirably and terminate them without any cause?
That's a one-sided story. Anyone that has been terminated from the
tell
FBI,
your
generally
side
speaking,
of the story.
failed to meet the needs of the FBI and uphold their constitutional duties. And you providing a one-sided story from your perch is absolutely disgraceful, because the men and women of the FBI deserve better. And your attack on the current leadership of the men and women of the FBI is equally disgraceful, because now you're attacking the leaders that are our brave SACs in the field who are doing.
What is it with liberals feeling like they're entitled to jobs? Because that's become a thing this past week. I'm seeing it a lot.
Yeah, I have a hard time feeling bad for people concerned about FBI agents getting fired when 2 years ago, if they didn't get a vaccine, they were fired immediately and no one cared.
Precisely.
Like, and you know what? These positions are not lifetime appointments. They are not supposed to be there forever. If the leadership does not think that they are serving the cause anymore, they go. It is an inherently political thing to work for the government, and we all pretend it's not when the other guys are in charge, I guess.
Right.
But of course it's political. Like you said, if you're not serving the guy on the top, then get out.
Bye. GTFO. Right. GTFO. I don't know why this is such a hard concept to grasp. I think they feel entitled to these positions and that they're going to stay there forever. Is it a government job thing? I'm not really sure. It is an entitlement mentality, though, and it's a cancer. And it's just so rampant. Like, I'm watching this yesterday. I'm like, you're not entitled to your job. Like, you're just not. I'm not entitled to my job. And so I don't understand why this is something that's such a foreign concept to these people. They need to get a grip. He also, Kash also trolled Dick Durbin, which was just fun to watch. So here's a clip on that.
Incriminating client list. Why was this July 7th memorandum unsigned?
Would you prefer I've used AutoPen?
Well, why was it
The
unsigned?
memorandum had the insignia of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And in our
I mean, it was just, people were mad about that, but it was like, I mean, what do you expect? The guy's sitting there getting just pummeled from all. I'd be a bitch too, you know? And it's just.
They keep so much, whenever our admin officials are at these hearings, I'm like, this is why I could never be in the government.
Right.
I would flip a table and
I would.
like, I could not do it.
And you're nice.
I'm not nice. But I definitely wouldn't be in this situation.
I could never do it either. It's just, I cannot. And the thing is, like I said at the beginning, they're doing this because they feel like he's politicizing the office. Oh my God. It's like, hello, pot, meet kettle, you know?
After you arrested the president and targeted conservatives.
Yeah.
Now it's too political for you.
Right. Okay. It's partisan now. All right. And then Patel was asked about Epstein, which we all knew would happen because that was one of the other things they wanted to hear about, the high profile cases. But obviously Epstein is a huge case. So I think it's Kennedy that's talking to Kash in this clip.
These young women too, besides himself.
There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
Now,
what do you think about that? What do you think?
Man, I hate this so much. And I'm like proudly a Trump cult member. Like I love Trump. I'll defend him on almost anything except this thing. I think this handling is the worst. And now I just don't get it. Now we don't even think that he was trafficking at all. That's bare minimum.
Well, here's what, it sent like somebody who's a Trump cult member, and I don't even think you have to be a cult member to think maybe in the Biden administration, they destroyed files. So I mean, if he's saying, and just listening to, like, if you want to call this testimony, because I mean, that's in essence, he's on the stand, he's answering. So he's saying, we don't have, if based on the stuff that we have, which is not a lot right now, which I assume they had a lot more, Biden could have handled this. He could have handled it. His administration could have done a lot more than what they did. And I go back to, like, we've got this billboard on I-35 that I see all the time. It's some liberal that puts it up, and they have on the billboard right now, why aren't they putting out the Epstein files? Well, why didn't they handle this during the Biden administration? It begs the question, this should have been handled then, and they didn't handle it. And now all of a sudden they're like, Trump's not handling it. This administration's not handling it. So they had plenty of time to destroy files.
I think that's completely right. And I don't like the Democrats pretending that they care about this at all, because obviously they don't. But what I don't like is that Kash is expecting us to fill in the gaps there. Like, if we think that credible evidence was destroyed, can you just say that?
Exactly.
Or instead he says, we don't have it. And we're supposed to, as his defenders, say, maybe he means that the Biden administration destroyed these files and we no longer have access to them. Like, I'm really tired of filling in all of these gaps. Can you help me out a little here?
That's
Can
a great,
be on the same team.
Great point, Corinne. Yeah. It's like he could have at the very least said, we feel as though evidence was destroyed. I want to look into that.
Yeah.
And that would have been helpful for the American people. It would have been helpful for people like us. That would have been great. And that would have answered a lot of questions, because you're right. We're out here filling in the gaps, and that sucks. That we have to do that. All right. So I saved the best for last, at least for me, because this was my favorite, because y'all know how much I love me some scotch, Mace Hirono. This is just my favorite clip of all. So check this one out.
So you've been asked some questions about changes to your hiring standard. and including college degrees and possibly the age. But, one question I had is, that you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents
So
are
are
being
you requiring
appropriately
these
assessed.
kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC.
Maisie, what is a woman?
Yeah. Wow. Now all of a sudden there are physiological differences between men and women.
What? Oh my gosh.
I feel like you are the kind of woman who could do a bunch of pull-ups. Like I've never been able to do a pull-up. I feel like Amy does like 1 million pull-ups. She's probably winning championships on it.
More push-ups than pull-ups, Corinne. But I mean, listen, if I were going to do what these FBI agents do, you're damn right. I would be doing lots of pull-ups every single day. You know, that's
and
so
I can't do a pull-up, which is why the FBI should never hire me.
Right.
One of the reasons, one of the many reasons.
I will say Katie Britt, because I was waiting for somebody on our side to be like, hold on, wait a second. What the hell? And Katie Britt for the win with this one.
Well, before I begin, I want to thank Senator Hirono for what she said, acknowledging that there are physical differences between men and women.
Yes.
Talking about that women wouldn't be able to do as many pull-ups, and I think that she was making a case here that there should be different standards. There's a thing called Title IX, and this is why we continue to say we should have biological men and men's sports and biological women and women's sports.
Yes. Yes, Katie. Yes. That was so beautiful. It needed to be said.
It was beautiful. Perfect.
Yeah. And when we talk about Title IX in the future, I hope that everybody on the right whips that clip out. And they're like, oh, by the way, drunk Maisie said this. Scotchy.
Yeah. Our FBI agents need to be treated better than our girls at school.
Yeah, exactly. Quickly, we have to talk about Cozy Earth, you guys, and the blankets and the robes and the pajamas. I have a pair of pajamas from Cozy Earth. You got to get some, Corinne. They're the best. They really are. They're delicious. They're the most deliciously soft pajamas. And I have a robe that I wear all the time. And I also have a bubble cuddle blanket. You have to be very careful saying that. It's hard to say. It's like a tongue twister. I just got one for our kids. They're moving into a new house. You guys, they close on their house today. My kids do here in Texas. They moved from California. They closed today. I got them a bubble cuddle blanket for their house. It matches their house. They're so excited as a housewarming gift. They love ours because we have one here and everybody tries to confiscate mine because I have like my little place in my recliner. Everybody wants to steal it. But everybody has like their place at the end of the day where they have like their go-to snuggle place. Mine is my recliner with my bubble cuddle blanket. So if you have not checked these out, you have got to go check them out. They're fantastic. They're great gifts for yourself, for a birthday, for Christmas, an anniversary, housewarming. They stand by their quality. Their blankets come with a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, and their apparel is backed by a lifetime guarantee. Hello. So they truly mean it when they say their stuff is meant to last. We love the company. We love the people who work there. Their quality is unmatched. So go to cozyearth.com. Use code CHICKS at checkout for 40% off all of the stuff. That's cozyearth.com, code CHICKS. Do it. Okay. We got to get into the fact that yesterday was Assassin's Day, apparently. There were 3 dudes in court yesterday. And I'd like to point out that they were all leftists. I don't think that's all lost on all of us. But there were 3 dudes in court yesterday for either assassinations or attempts to assassinate. The first one was Luigi Mangione. Is it Mangione or Mangione? Is it Mangione? He killed CEO Brian Thompson in 2024. He's an anti-corporate leftist. So we're going to talk about him real quick. A judge in New York State dismissed 2 terrorism-related charges against him. So these were the counts of murder in the first degree as an act of terrorism and murder in the second degree as a crime of terrorism. I'm not really sure why they did this because I feel like they should have charged him with first-degree murder and instead of trying to make it terrorism, because that would have made it, I think it would have made it easier. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not completely sure, but I feel like now that they've dropped the terrorism charges, it's going to be harder to do this. And so they're going to have to, it's going to be a 2nd-degree murder charge. And so that kind of sucks, you know?
That really sucks.
Yeah. So liberals, especially Gen Z liberals, they love this murdering psychopath. I don't understand what is happening in our society, but they absolutely love this guy. Here's a news story that shows people considering this guy a hero.
Mangione, as you know, is seen as a folk hero to some. Protesters slamming the healthcare industry, saying Mangione is innocent.
I think they framed him as a patsy. I don't think they targeted him. I think they said, hey, here's a kid with good teeth and nice hair. Looks like that guy in the camera. Let's string him up.
Do you consider him a hero?
Yes, 100%.
But he's charged with murder.
Oh, well, we're hoping in a glimmer of hope that changes.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go. Go ahead, Corinne.
What's so crazy to me is that when they dropped the terrorism charges, I'm not sure if it was the judge or just one of the lawyers analyzing it, said that the reason they did that is because they couldn't find any proof that murder was going to impact public opinion or policy. And then you see all of these people that they think that murder should impact policy, that murder is literally a political statement, and that is what terrorism is. Mm-hmm. And I'm with you. I'm like, why not go for 1st-degree murder? I think they maybe meant it as some kind of deterrent. But if we're talking about terrorism, I'm like, all those little freaks out there worshiping him, I think he did accomplish a political goal. Like, it had terrorist vibes at least.
Totally. And we're going to talk about that at closer to the end of the show, about just our society looking at these freaks and it becoming such a trend where they feel like all of this is okay. And that is not okay. Like, I'm so concerned about 1 or 2, you know, there are a lot of people out there cheering for this for this murderer.
They were wearing masks too, really safe, which makes me think they were trying to do illegal stuff, because I never see anyone wearing a mask anymore because they're afraid of COVID. So it kind of worries me when I see these protesters like covering their faces. I'm like, great, what property are they going to damage tonight?
Yeah. I see some in Austin, just a few wearing like masks in Austin every once in a while, because they're like, disease, COVID. And I'm like, seriously, what are we doing? Okay. So next up was Ryan. Is it Routh or Routh? I don't know. He's also a psycho. He was the weirdo, tried to gun down Trump on the Florida golf course. We all remember him. And he's serving as his own defense. So he's going to be like his own attorney, which that's going to end well. And it became a dramatic performance yesterday. We have a report on that.
Did not go smoothly for Ryan Routh during his opening statement that only lasted 7 minutes before Judge Cannon shut him down. Now, the government's opening statements, they painted a clear picture of Routh's alleged movements leading up to the assassination attempt, including him allegedly stalking President Trump's plane, campaign movements, and Secret Service procedures. The prosecution also told jurors that he arrived in the area 1 month earlier, used 3 aliases, 10 cell phones, and stolen license plates. Routh's opening statements, for the most part, had nothing to do with the case or even evidence. At one point, he said, quote, 1.5 million years ago, 2 species crossed paths in the mud in Kenya, and mentioned Hitler, Russian President Vladimir Putin, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The statements were so off course, Judge Cannon interrupted him and told him to keep his remarks related to the case. Now, the government today called the first witness, that's a Secret Service agent who was working 1 hole ahead of Trump and who first spotted Routh hiding in the bushes. Special Agent Robert Furcano recounted being 5 feet from Routh with the barrel of the gun pointed directly at his face.
Oh my God. So he may call witnesses. They say the trial may last like 2 to 3 weeks. He may actually call witnesses, you guys. Cuckoo.
I know some of the people that Kash fired were responsible for catching that guy before he made an attempt on the president's life.
Right.
Because when they talk about this case, I just like get angry all over again. How long was this guy stalking a former president, and our FBI is just like not noticing?
Well, they were too busy targeting people at school board meetings, right?
Absolutely. And filing charges against the president.
Yeah. Exactly. Filing charges against him and people that are pro-lifers. They're too busy. And that's the thing. When they put Kash on a stand and they're like, you're politicizing. How about F you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see this guy. His fingerprint. I mean, he's totally guilty. It's just, and he is insane. And then his son was picked up for child porn. I mean, this guy's a nightmare. So
I feel like repping himself, I think he's trying to prove that he's insane so that he can get a better deal.
You think?
Well, his whole, like, when they're talking about his opening testimony was just like wild, and the judge had to tell him to stay on topic. I'm like, he's playing it. He probably is actually crazy, but I feel like he's playing it up.
He's going to make himself like ultra crazy and then end up getting not as much time as he should get, which is pretty, I guess that's pretty indicative now of our judicial system, because it is kind of borked, as Mock would say.
Sad, but true.
Yeah. You guys, real quick, how you can get involved, especially if you are a mom or a grandma and you're looking for ways to get involved in politics and you're like, I don't really know how to start. I don't know how to write my congressperson. Concerned Women for America has got you. They are the nation's largest public policy Christian women's organization. We love them so much. All you got to do is donate $20 or more. They're going to give you a copy of their book written by CEO and President Penny Nance. It's called A Woman's Guide, 7 Rules for Success in Business and Life. And it's a really cool book. It's a great gift. It's great to have. It's a good little coffee table book. It's fantastic. They focus on great issues that we are all concerned about, like life, religious liberty, parental choice in education, national sovereignty, support for Israel, all the things that we stand for, they stand for, and they will show you and tell you, they'll give you templates on how to talk to your public officials. They're really great in like helping you figure out how to get involved locally, politically. They equip you and mobilize women to make a real impact in their communities. So if you just don't know how to get started and you want to do that, they're such a great organization to get involved with. You can donate $20 and receive the book. Go to concernedwomen.org/chicks. That's concernedwomen.org/chicks. You should do that. Totally. Okay. So just to recap, I just wanted to recap some of the assassin whack jobs that we've seen over the past year. So there was Tyler Robinson, which was last week with Charlie Kirk. There was that Vance Bolter guy with the Minnesota legislators. Everybody is bringing that person up, trying to compare that. And they're like, no one ever gave that person time in the media, and that person worked for Walz, Tim Walz. So just FYI, and then there was Ryan Routh, which we talked about, Luigi Mangione, Thomas Crooks, who, he shot Trump.
We don't know anything about him.
We don't know anything about that kid, right? There's the Kavanaugh attempt. Nicholas, I think it was Roski. He made an attempt against Kavanaugh in 2022. And then there was the Scalise shooting back in 2017. I just think it's important for us to remember all of these attempts on people's lives. And people we kind of, the news cycle is so crazy that we forget about these things sometimes because it's just constant. We know because we're in it every single day. We're in the trenches and it's nuts. But these people are on the left and it's getting worse and worse. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit more. But let's talk about Tyler Robinson. Okay. So Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin, but we all know what's happening here. He's being charged with 7 counts, including aggravated murder. So we saw, I'm sure a lot of you guys, most of you guys saw Jeff Gray, who was the Utah lawyer that was talking about seeking the death penalty. They're talking about the firing squad, which I'm okay with. Robinson's mom confirmed that he became more left and more gay and trans rights oriented over the past year. This is not a both sides issue. I think I'm seeing that. And listen, it doesn't matter though, because before last weekend, there were just shameless Democrat pundits and people that we saw on the left. There were just people everywhere that we saw trying to get clicks, engagement. This is what they were doing. And they were saying, oh yeah, he's MAGA because his parents are MAGA. We saw a lot of that. I'm talking to like certain people on the left. I've seen it. I've seen all the videos where that got tons and tons of engagement. They made tons of money off of that by saying, oh, he's MAGA, which is just the biggest bunch of crap. Like, first of all, wait until the information comes out. Second of all, they're lying for clicks, which is
They've
insane.
convinced a lot of people. I still have
Yes.
Acquaintances that are texting me, like, just so you know, it was a right-wing guy. I was like, that is not true.
It's not
it never
true.
was true. But they said it so many times right away to just like brainwash their people as fast as they could.
They just want it to be true. They want it so badly to be true, right? So, anyways, this kid is most likely going to probably get the lethal injection, or he's going to be, he's going to be put to death, I would imagine, because I just think once we get through all this, that's probably what's going to happen. And yesterday, I couldn't help but think about his parents. And we're going to get to the boyfriend too. But I can't imagine what his parents must be going through, because at one point I would imagine his parents thought, he's our baby boy. This is a good kid. And then at some point he got radicalized,
So heartbreaking. I was thinking the same thing, and reading, when they were reading some of the texts and stuff, he got lost somewhere. Like, he's not a sociopath. It seems like there's some emotion in him that he can feel, but he was radicalized to believe so strongly that like Charlie was not like a person to him. And I can't imagine being his family. I know he has siblings, and there are just so many lives ruined by this. It just breaks my heart.
Right.
It's
so
awful. Young. He's so young. Like, he's a baby still.
22. My God, it's like, I would like I don't think his brain is completely finished cooking yet. You know what I mean? Like, this kid is, it's nuts. So anyways, we have a snippet from yesterday's press conference, which was really thorough, by the way. I thought they did a really good job taking you through everything he did. And I thought it was really well done. And the text messages, I think, shocked probably a lot of people. We're going to get to the text messages and how we feel about those. But here's a little snippet from it talking about how he became leftist and gay over the past year.
Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspect shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed. Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be.
Okay, so that was that. And then, we heard some of the text messages, and I believe we have some of those, and we'll get to those in a second. But when we look at some of the text messages and what we think about those, there were people talking about them after this press conference. One in particular, I just cannot. There is some dude, I think it was ABC. Yeah, this douchebag on ABC was talking about how touching and intimate that the text exchanges were. Like, the absolute is it the romanticizing of these texts? What is our news? What is it? Check this out.
Murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who was transitioning, calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances.
I was asking you yesterday, I'm like, I wish there was another way to say what the F.
Yeah, it is a what the F moment. But what's so frustrating to me, these reporters, they have endless sympathy for criminals, for murderers. And like, where is it for Charlie? Where's the sympathy for us? Where's the sympathy for your fellow American ever? like, you're going to have sympathy for a guy who just shot a man in cold blood.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have any sympathy for Republicans who might have agreed with the guy who got shot.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so misplaced.
And the people who saw it, like the kids, everybody, I mean, the fact that that's one of the counts that he got yesterday was the fact that he did it. He did that. And then he did it, you know, on purpose, with purpose, in front of kids. The people who saw that and have to live with that image and are seeing it, and listen, it's all over social media. We know that. And it is, I mean, it's such a ripple effect that has on kids and young adults, that they are going to be seeing that over and over again and replaying it in their heads over and over again. What does that do to the psyche? You know, like that. I just don't like, and the fact that he can get on a television and say that he was somehow loving and that he was romantic, and like, I just delete every account that you have. Just go away and don't ever be on television ever again. This guy has no business doing the news. It's just,
this guy professionally deals in words, and the words that he used to describe a murderer's text was touching. It's not like he misspoke. Like, this is his whole job. And he carefully chose touching as his description.
Yeah.
It's sick.
It's insane. It's absolute insanity. And I mean, not everybody thought that those texts were romantic. Case in point is Matt Walsh. In fact, he floated the idea that the texts were contrived. Like, they weren't really the texts of these two individuals, which I thought was pretty interesting. Like Evan Kilgore, he put on X that he put the text into Chat GPT, and he was like, hey, do you think that these are real text messages between two Gen Z dudes? And Chat GPT was like, no, I don't think it's really likely. I thought that was really interesting, because if you look at some of the exchange, the way that they talk, and a lot of people are talking about this. A lot of people are saying, you know, just on X and in social, and people who are Gen Zers and a little bit older, like, people, they don't talk like this. So much information was given in these text messages about what he did, like why, what, how, and then like delete this. Just the way that it was written doesn't seem organic.
Yes. And the more I will admit, when I first heard it, when the attorney was reading them, I didn't think anything of it. But then when I read it, I was like, you're right. This does, like, I work with Gen Z people. I get text messages from Gen Z. They don't look like this. They don't really talk like this.
Right.
And it is weird. And then it does start to feel a little contrived. Like, is this scripted, or is this like not real at all?
Right. And then why, if it is scripted, if it is contrived, then why would they be doing that? Who are they trying to protect? Who are they protecting? Right. So I find that very interesting. I really do. Yeah. And the boyfriend is a little sus, you know? I think we have a clip about the boyfriend. Yeah. This is Lance Twig is his name, which I don't think that's his real name. I don't know why you would pick that name, but his name is Lance Twig. And now he considers himself a fish finder. Do you know what a fish finder is? It's a slang term for transgenders who go hunting for kids on video game platforms, and they introduce them to transgender ideology. So that's what he considers himself. That's what he looks like. But see the picture on the left there, that's what he looked like years ago when he graduated from high school in 2021 with his family, which he hasn't talked to his family from what I've read, what I've discovered on social. He hasn't had contact with his family in a couple years because his family, they did not like the fact that he was going through this transformation. They thought that he was demonic.
Yeah. I have heard from the family that they kept him away. It sounds like he may have younger siblings as well, that the family thought he was a risk too. Mm-hmm. And if I try to be like the most devil's advocate, I'm like, okay, I can see a religious family not wanting their babies around someone who was openly gay.
Yeah. And hostile yes. towards conservative Christian value. He's very hostile towards the family. And if you do have younger kids, I can see where you'd be like, okay, well, get out then.
But then they also implied to a family member implied to Candace Owens that they do think he was involved, and I think that's a line.
They do think he was. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a line where I'm like, okay, I can see how a religious family would reject a lifestyle choice, and even if I accept that they just didn't like that he was gay, fine. But I think the step to say that they believe that their son is involved in such a terrible thing, that's too far. I don't think that they would say that unless he had some darker things going on in his life. That like, as a parent, I cannot imagine
implicating your kid
about my baby unless it has to be true. Like, I could never say that about, or I couldn't say it about my sister even, you know, like, unless it was true, you don't say that. There's a line. You don't
I totally agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. Unless you know for sure in your heart that your kid did it, which is one of the reasons why I would imagine that, you know, Tyler Robinson's parents turned him in. They knew. They were like, well, he told them, obviously. But I mean, at the same time, they had an inkling because then they saw the pictures and they could see all that stuff floating around. They saw the gun, they saw the pictures, and they were like, holy crap, that's our son, you know? And that is, can you even imagine how they must have felt in that moment? Because they are conservatives. They are right-wingers. They tried to bring him up in a way that they thought was the right way. And then he went astray somewhere. And it's the same thing with this Lance Twiggs character who, I mean, he hadn't talked to his parents in years. He went through that transformation. It's a few years of going from normal teen to furry whack job. Like, it's a parent's worst nightmare, you know? And we're seeing that time and time again. I'm just pointing out the trend, you guys. It's really weird.
And it's so sad to me too, to lose Charlie. And in this event is kind of a demonstration of the problem is I think young men who don't have much of a path, they can really be taken down radical paths very easily when they're lost. So I think you see a lot, they can go like the Andrew Tate route, which sucks.
Yep.
Or this radical liberal path that obviously is like godless and horrific and demonizes fellow Americans. But there is this alternative path, which I think Charlie was one of the best leaders for, the really undeniably the best leader for, which is you could also be a good man and be a Christian and be a father and be a husband. And that's what you want when someone is lost. Like, imagine if this boy had fallen into that category instead, how much better his life would have been.
And everybody, how much better everybody's lives. Right. Be like Charlie. Be like Charlie. You know, there are choices. And what he chose was obviously the wrong choice.
The worst one.
Right. All right. So Jasmine Crockett had to weigh in on all this because of course she did. And to think this chick has a law degree, I don't know where it's from, but get it back.
Just because they want to go out and have a day of free speech on campus may be subjected to this kind of violence, then maybe we need to start talking about legislation that will keep these types of weapons out of certain people's hands. Now, whether or not this gentleman would have qualified under any type of laws that many of the Democrats have proposed, I don't know. But the reality is that they typically want to say it's somebody with a mental health problem. Well, maybe red flag laws would be helpful in those circumstances. The reality is that we are elected to, at a very minimum, try to do mitigation and try to make sure that everyone, whether they are left, right, in the middle, or non-affiliated, can express their views without this idea that they may be subjected to violence, which a lot of...
So we're talking about guns now. That's what we're talking about.
I don't know how many times we can do this experiment with Democrats. Like, how many cities have complete gun bans? And they're the most violent cities in this country.
Right.
And again, like, I thought liberals didn't even like guns, but they certainly pick one up to kill a bunch of conservatives.
Right.
So I don't think it's about the guns.
Yeah. This is the thing. They always want to talk about that, but it's weird how we are completely ignoring the ideology that is leading to this violence. They never want to talk about that. And they never want to talk about how it's them. It's a both sides issue. No, it's not. It's not a both sides issue. We've got to stop saying that it's a both sides issue. It is a you guys issue. and it's an ideology issue, and we need to start talking more about that. So thank God we have like one or two people on legacy media that is talking some sense. Case in point, Scott Jennings.
This notion that in this incredibly fraught moment in the wake of this horrific shooting, when you foment the idea that we have to be at each other's throats politically, I think that's a dangerous place to be.
Why did I do it? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out.
So can I ask you? So
he has
Scott, just explain what you just read.
That is the message that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, sent to his roommate. That is what he said. He also engraved the word, "Hey, fascist, catch," on the bullet. For 10 years, we have heard nothing from the left but that Donald Trump is a fascist, Republicans are Nazis, authoritarians, destroy the Constitution, bloodbath, dictator for a day. And he wrote it on the bullet.
So can I ask you?
And he's been obviously marinating in some kind of information that radicalized him based on what he heard in the air in this country.
And she's like, what? I don't understand.
Our comments, Daisy, they say you forgot to purr for Scott Jennings. I do think that's important.
I'm sorry. Scott Jennings. Sorry.
It was such a perfect point. What I love, though, is he uses the left's words against them all the time, and they're kind of like too dumb to know that's what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's like, what are you even talking about?
She's like, I don't understand. We've never said that you guys are Nazis or fascists. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's every freaking day, nonstop. Yeah.
And the next sentence will be, we never said you're a Nazi or a fascist, but like you are kind of a Nazi and a
fascist. Right. You fascist. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't. Okay. So quickly, you guys, all of this like stress, the one thing that I do during the day, probably like 3-4 times a week, is I use my little Bond Charge red light face mask. We don't have Mock here to model it. And Corinne, she's so like young and just.
I just ordered one of these though.
Did you get
yes.
one? I'm so excited. Oh my God, I love it so much. It's next level self-care. It is all about glowing skin, spa vibes. It's really great. You can take it anywhere. It's not one of those hard case ones. It's soft, and so you can travel with it. It's really great. You can plug it in just like you recharge it just like you do any sort of like phone or whatever. It's fantastic. I love this thing. So I'll just like have it on for 15 minutes, like 3 times a week. I'll walk around with it, or I'll just like lay down and have a little bit of time to myself, but it's great skincare. It's great for wrinkles, great for acne. It really brightens your skin. It helps with collagen production. It's great if you don't want to F with your face, but you want to do stuff that makes you more youthful. So definitely check it out. Red light therapy is legit, you guys. You can do the research. I promise you. Go to boncharge.com. That's BON charge.com/chicks. Use code chicks. Save 15%. Get your glow up. boncharge.com/chicks. Do it. Okay, quickly, Nancy Mace. I saw this yesterday. I wanted to show you guys this because Nancy Mace is going after Ilhan Omar, and I just thought it was worth mentioning. So check this out.
Here I am standing outside of the anti-American Ilhan Omar's office. Tomorrow we will file a privileged motion to censure her and to strip her of her committee assignments. She is inciting violence against conservatives in the wake of Charlie Kirk's political assassination. She is dehumanizing conservatives all across the country, calling Charlie Kirk a terrorist. We have been villainized and dehumanized far too long. The Democrats set the standard for stripping people of their committee assignments. I'm not going to be silent on this because enough is enough.
What's up with all the stickies? Do you know what that is?
Those are.
I don't know what that. Yeah.
To her, like, are they good ones or?
I don't know.
Criticisms. I don't.
Just be like, did you really marry your brother? Like, what's going on? Yeah, like
all your questions up there.
I don't know what all that was, but I'm okay with this. I'm okay with Nancy Mace going after Ilhan Omar. I don't like her.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too. And as Nancy Mace said, Democrats set the standard for stripping people of committee assignments, and it really hurt Republicans when we had a very, very slim majority. And it's going to hurt the Democrats too. So I'm fine with it. That's a fair game. If you want to set the standard, like, we are ready to play ball the same way that they do.
Yep.
And I hope that she succeeds, honestly.
Yep. They don't like it when we play their game. They don't like it. They're like, I'm going to flip the board. Well, too bad. Because now we're starting to get mean like you guys.
It's
and
your game. You
your
want to
game.
play.
Right. You guys made the rules. We're just playing by them. So get used to it. Yesterday, Mock mentioned JD Vance doing Charlie's show. And we did not play any clips from that, but I wanted to play one clip that I thought it was my favorite part of that. And I just wanted to quickly play that for you guys. Let's do that right now.
People who scream at children over their parents' politics. There is no unity with someone who lies about what Charlie Kirk said in order to excuse his murder. There is no unity with someone who harasses an innocent family the day after the father of that family lost a dear friend. There is no unity with the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's assassination. And there is no unity with the people who fund these articles, who pay the salaries of these terrorist sympathizers, who argue that Charlie Kirk, a loving husband and father, deserved a shot to the neck because he spoke words with which they disagree.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to play that is because we're going to talk a little bit about just the fallout over Charlie Kirk's assassination and how people are handling it, and how liberals are like, what? You know, we're awesome. We're like the party of unity, which is a complete crock of bullshit, because 24% of liberals believe that it's okay. It's okay to be happy when a Republican dies. 26% of liberals believe that political violence is okay. And that's just one poll. Like, there are other polls we'll talk about that are even worse. So the data is really clear. Like, if you look at data, you don't have, like, we can talk about feelings all day long because they really like to talk about feelings, but the data is super clear that the left are much more likely to defend political violence. They think that it's okay. We're seeing that. And that is not okay. Like, it's becoming a huge problem in this country. And for them to act like they have not been a part of this culture where they scream fascist and Nazi, and that is not radicalizing people, they've got to come to grips with the fact that they are a problem, that is a problem, and they have to stop doing it. And for them to point fingers at us is not okay. Because in order to solve a problem, you have to name the problem, and then you can get rid of the problem. And so it's like being an alcoholic. You know what I mean? You can't stop being an alcoholic until you say, oh yeah, I'm an alcoholic. And, you know, we're going to be talking about Charlie Sheen. So, like, he gets it. He understands the alcoholic metaphor. Like, you cannot make that go away until you come to grips with that. And I feel like they're not coming to grips with that, which is a problem.
They will not admit it at all. And I think that's a lot of the denial we were talking about. There are still some people who want to believe that Charlie Kirk was shot by a conservative. Just, they will not admit that they are completely unhinged. But I'm sure, like, every conservative in this chat, I see our chat's like blowing up, has some experience with an unhinged liberal. Right. I know I have quite a few because I live in the DC area. And after they shot at Trump, I put a Trump sticker on my car. That was like my thing to say, if he can stand up after being shot, like, I can put a sticker on my car. Right, so I have one. But this area is full of unhinged psychos. And especially right after Trump was inaugurated, one day I'm just buckling my daughter into her car seat, and some man comes and screams rape in my face.
Oh my God.
And without context, by the way. So I'm just like, what? And then what is going on? And then finally he's like, you support a rapist. You're a fascist, like, freaked. My baby is like right there. And he got all the way in my face, like, as I'm in the back seat of my car, you know?
Oh my God.
Like, these people are unhinged, and obviously they do that to JD Vance, and that's like, okay, he's a public figure. I'm nobody. I'm just a mom putting her baby in her car. They have no boundaries.
Yeah.
At all.
It's a good thing your husband wasn't there.
I know. That's what he says.
Seriously, because I've seen him and I know what would have happened in that situation. So it's good. And isn't it interesting that he wasn't, and that's why he came up to you? What a complete punk. Yeah. I'm glad he didn't come up to me.
I know.
These people. Anyways, I was talking about Charlie Sheen, and coming to terms with demons, right? And recognizing that you have demons. And I thought this is, if you haven't seen his documentary, there's a documentary that he has out right now on Netflix. Listen, that guy should be dead, right? Because he's like, has been through some stuff. I don't even know how he's still alive, but it's a pretty interesting documentary. If you're a Gen Xer or a boomer and you live through those years, like, it's an interesting documentary. If you get a chance, you should watch it. But anyways, he was on Piers Morgan's show this week. Here's a clip from that.
And for the aftermath of it was helpful.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah. But and I don't know. I think for this generation, I think that's their JFK moment. I mean, seriously. And I just, if that's where we've wound up, it cannot be where we stay.
Right.
Yeah. So he was comparing the assassination of Charlie Kirk to JFK. And so, like, for your generation, for Gen Zers, it is your JFK moment. And do you feel that way, Corinne? Do you think that it's the case?
I do. Obviously, I have nothing to compare it to, but it feels like a big watershed moment. And I do think that there are so many kids that were sitting on the sidelines or just like kind of, like, I don't want to post. I don't want my boss to get mad at me. I don't want my friends to get mad at me. And I see those walls kind of falling down, and kids that I never, classmates or coworkers, and I never really saw post anything, starting to come out and say, like, this is wrong, and this was a good man, and I actually liked him. So when you're demonizing everybody who liked him, remember that I liked him too. And I think that will be a good domino effect. It's a big moment,
right?
But I hate that it had to happen.
Yeah, I do too. But it's like, his death cannot be in vain. And I think that it'll make people bolder in their conservatism and bolder in their faith, which is what he wanted. He wanted people to be like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm proud to be a Christian. And I'm going to carry my Bible around, and I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about Jesus to people. And I'm going to talk about conservatism to people. And I'm going to wear a Trump shirt and not be afraid of it. And I'm going to wear, my cross, and I'm going to do the thing. And I think that's what he wanted. That's what we should be doing. The fact that people have been afraid to do that over the past 10 to 12 years is reprehensible in this country. It's just not okay. That's one of the things that Mock and I have seen so much of, where people will write us all the time. I agree with what you say, but I'm afraid to say it in my workplace. I'm afraid to say it on my campus. I'm afraid to say it in my friend group. We've always said to people, if there's one thing you can take from our show, don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid to be yourself. Like, we try to teach our kids not to be be authentic, be yourself, be loud and proud. And I think that this horrible tragedy, I hope that it has inspired people and emboldened people to just stand proud and stand firm in their faith and their conservatism. You have to do that. You have to.
And these violent wackos, like, they need to know how many of us there really are. They cannot kill all of us.
Right.
So maybe they will just give up if they see how many of us are willing to stand strong for our beliefs.
Right. Agreed. I totally agree. And just so you know, this was the original clip of Charlie Sheen finding out with Joe Rogan. They were finding out real time about Charlie Kirk on Joe Rogan's show last week when it happened.
This just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
It's fucking awful.
And is he dead?
No, I don't think so.
That's what was just.
One of the guys out there just said it was confirmed that he's dead.
In the lobby was just.
I've been looking. I haven't seen anything that said confirmed.
Whoa.
Murder for having a different opinion from somebody else.
Yeah.
Different ideology from somebody else.
Like, he got it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Beliefs that didn't align.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Dead?
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
We're in
Fuck.
Fox News.
Yeah. I mean, when Charlie Sheen is the voice of reason, we have hit the wall, you guys.
And like you said, he got it right away.
He
right
did.
away. That's
Right
better
away.
than the entire employees of the entire staff of the MSNBC.
And
It took days to understand what
right.
happened.
He got Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen got it right away. That guy has done every drug in the state of California. And he got it right away. So
Sometimes those people that hit rock bottom and come back, they just make so much sense all the time. They've really seen every part of life,
of humanity, or the lack thereof. And so he got it. I thought that was very interesting. And I cannot believe this even has to be said out loud, but House Speaker Mike Johnson had to tell liberals stuff that should be common sense, you guys.
And it leads to bad consequences. Leaders cannot call their political opponents Nazis and fascists and enemies of the state because they disagree with their policy priorities. I mean, this is something we should have learned in grade school. This type of language spurs on depraved people, deranged people who take that as a cue. And this.
What do you want to bet they're going to keep doing it?
Oh, for sure. They already are. I think there have been senators who, in the same breath, they're like, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, but he espoused ideas that were fascist and hateful, and what they cannot stop themselves.
Right.
And I don't see them slowing down.
Yeah. There should never be a but. Like, just zip it. Stop with the buts. Or like, I hate, like, people are giving credit to celebrities that are, you know, like Jamie Lee Curtis. People are like, oh, it was so nice that she cried about him and she said nice things about him. But when she did it, she was like, I hated everything that he had to say. And like, he was this and he was that. She was saying really awful things about things that he said, which were entirely untrue. Mm-hmm. And so they always have to say he was terrible, but, or I'm sorry that he died, but, and it's like, can you just be sorry? Can you just say this is an awful thing?
They're so afraid of angering the people who might shoot you for having a different opinion.
Oh
They're always trying to appeal to that most hateful, least tolerant crowd. And they think if they, you know, say it enough, I don't agree, please, I don't agree. They're not on the hit list like the rest of us. Absolute
sheep, just total sheep. And I think, you know, one of the things that we saw that the poll, there was like, it's like Napolitan News Service. They said that 26% of those aged 18 to 34 answered yes to the question, while it is always difficult to wish ill of another human being, is America better off now that Charlie Kirk has been killed? And among Democrats, 24% also responded affirmatively, which is crazy. They also found that 31% of respondents who identify with Democratic New York Representative AOC's policies believe that the country is better off following Kirk's death. 31%, you guys, a third. All right. It's not okay. I mean, these are people who are like, oh yeah, death is fine. Assassination is fine. 1% is not okay. 31%, this is what we're talking about. It is good versus evil. And then in that same poll, I thought this was really interesting. 36% of Democrats said that the Republican Party was responsible for his assassination. I'm sorry, WTF. Like, that is just, and then they cited, 29% cited anti-Trump rhetoric. I just cannot even wrap my brain around that. It's absolutely insane. So there's a Missouri senator, Senator Schmidt. He talked about another poll, which specifically talked about murdering Trump.
Earlier this year, a poll found that more than 55% of people on the left believed that it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Donald Trump. These are not just some abstractions on a page. These are our fellow citizens. How can we come together with people who believe these things? We've all seen the flood of posts on social media over the past week, not just a fringe few, but thousands upon thousands of people gleefully celebrating a father of two young children getting gunned down in broad daylight. I wish I wouldn't have seen that video. I wish my kids would not have seen that video.
Yeah. I just, it's insane. And they can't see it. This is the thing that's so crazy to me. And then there's this dude on MSNBC who doesn't understand why people are being fired.
Could become quite significant, and it already is. I mean, compared to the aftermath of January 6th, this does seem to be turning into a very aggressive attempt to purge not just, government officials or in the Hegseth example in the Defense Department, but also specifically people who work in education, who work in healthcare, who work in government. Those are the fields that a lot of these right-wing figures have been mentioning over and over again when talking about how just random internet users have responded to this shooting.
So wait, what are they doing? Are they scouring social media? Is that what they're doing? Or getting hearsay? Somebody said something? I mean,
so there's one website called Charlie's Murderers that's gotten a huge following on on Twitter, and they basically have assembled over, the last count I saw was like 40,000 different examples of just, essentially a grassroots, people giving screenshots, names, professions. So it's already getting a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, so people are mad that people are getting fired over being complete asshats, and people that say murder is great.
Yeah, I'm especially glad, and I will celebrate the firing of any teacher, government employee, or healthcare worker who believes that anyone with a different opinion than them doesn't deserve life. Those are terrible values. I don't want tax dollars paying for them. I don't want you teaching my kids, and I certainly don't want to end up in a hospital where I might be treated by someone who doesn't think I deserve to live. I don't feel bad. I hope they all lose their jobs. If they're stupid enough to post this publicly, good, go for them. I'm so glad to see us playing hardball on this. Fire them all.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't imagine, especially the doctors, like the doctors and the nurses who are like, listen, I guess especially because you're right, the teachers are one thing, but doctors and nurses who are like, he should have died. It's like, oh my God.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do to me if you find out that I am a Republican or I'm a conservative and I come in there and I'm in a health crisis? Are you going to just let me die? Because I am genuinely concerned about some of these people. Like, you took a Hippocratic oath. What in the hell?
Feel justified in letting you die because at least 30% of them would think the world would be better if you weren't here. It's crazy. But I see them all twisting themselves in knots. One of my friends that's more leftist is trying to tell me they're not celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. They are. And she goes, they said it was a good thing. That's not the same. That's not celebrating.
Right.
I'm like,
I will literally, when people ask me, when it comes to a healthcare situation, if people ask me what I do for a living, I'll say I own a communications company. That's what I say. I never say what I do because of that reason. I should never be afraid to say what I do for a living in this country, but I am because of that. How crazy is that? It's nuts. And you would never see that on the other side. You would never see conservatives be like, man, I'm going to take that liberal down, because they are sociopaths, Cheryl. I mean, it's just insane. So that guy, and not only that, but they're losing jobs. But I recall a couple of weeks ago, they were all bitching about, I mean, who's going to clean our pools? Who's going to do this? Who's going to wash our dishes? Those jobs are available now because a lot of illegals have been shipped out of the country. Apparently they thought those are the only jobs that they could do. Go take those jobs.
Yeah, there's openings.
There's openings.
Labor
Go take
shortage.
them. Learn to code. Yeah. So one of the things, I was going to do a montage today of some of the depravity that we've seen from people just doing awful things to memorials and memorial services for Charlie. I just didn't want to do a bunch of them. So I'm just going to play one from one kid who thankfully he's been expelled from Texas State, but this is just one example of a complete lunatic who is a representative of some of these weirdos. So take a look at this. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he apparently was expelled, which good.
Yeah,
Good.
he also seems like he was on drugs, so I don't know if he's doing well.
Or just possessed by demons, I swear. So there was a lot of that yesterday. I saw another girl at a college that was painting over a mural on a big rock And it was just this beautiful quote from Charlie Kirk. That's all. It was just a quote from Charlie Kirk, a beautiful quote from him. And she's like, we can't have this. And so, I mean, these kids, I guarantee you, if they would have spent 5 minutes or a minute talking to Charlie Kirk during one of his discussions, well, maybe they wouldn't have been, transformed by him, but Charlie Kirk would have been lovely to them. He would have been calm and collected, and he would have had wonderful discourse with them. It would have been respectful, and that's what he was all about. And these people are the antithesis of that. And I cannot believe they can't see it.
Imagine destroying a memorial or mocking someone who died, even by natural causes, someone who was murdered in front of thousands of people, and you feel so compelled to take down a quote. I've never felt that amount of hate toward anyone, and I'm pretty mean, but I've never had that kind of feeling to do that to someone, hurt people who are remembering him. You're not hurting him anymore; he's dead. But you're hurting people who are just trying to remember him and memorialize him. What is wrong with you?
Their parents failed. I mean, their parents are utter failures. So it's really sad. We do not have talks today, but we do have super stickers. So I'm going to read some. I won't be able to get the ones that are on some of the other platforms. We'll probably have to get to those on Friday. I'm sorry if you're doing that, but I'm going to read some of the ones here. Marcy Perilous, thank you for that super sticker. Jennifer, Stroke Jen, what kind of mints do libs use for fresh breath? Entitlements. That was good, Jennifer. Another one from Jennifer. I was at the pool and had to take a pee. The lifeguard noticed and blew his whistle so freaking loud that I almost fell in. Marcy Perilous, thank you for that super sticker. Jennifer, my spirit animal is that one bird that flies into windows. It's the total, actual, real truth. I tell you, we get those all the time at our house, Jennifer. Mitzi Davis, prayers for Mock. Feel better soon. We love you and Daisy. It was very sweet, Mitzi. She is she's a trooper. She's been through some stuff this year. So I hope that 2026 is a better year for her health-wise, Robin Dye, Florida, Idaho. Florida and Idaho, what other states are good to move to? I mean, we could use more conservatives than Texas. I'm just saying. We need to outnumber. We need to come here. Totally. Karen Elliott, prayers for Mock. Where's the diversity, Tim? Yeah, exactly. Robert Clark, Dad Joke Wednesday. Who cares if I don't know what apocalypse means? It's not the end of the world. Feel better, Mock. I see what you did there, Robert. Reba Henry, Daisy, my heart actually aches for this generation coming up. They are so out of touch with reality. It's truly very scary. Yeah, that's why we as parents have a responsibility to teach them the right way and to just stay on top of things, You just cannot give up on these kids. Jan Robinson, don't forget today is Constitution Day. It is. I didn't know that. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, Constitution Day. Lori Weens, Dad Joke Wednesday. Why do cows wear bells? Their horns don't work. What do you get if you cross a snowman and a vampire? Frostbite. What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies. Get better, Mock. Love you, ladies. Thank you, Lori. Brian Brumley, Matt Gutman. Why are you gay? Brian, you got to grace us with the why are you gay every single day. Deidre Yuknovich, through FBI, I believe it's reported that from a young age of 10, he spent hours gaming on the computer, hours. So being on the computer that long, he was drawn in by the dark internet. Yeah, get your kids in sports, man. I'm just saying, I feel like if they're on a computer all the time, they have a chance to do that more.
Yeah,
if they're out playing and being in grass, or get them in FFA, or have them be with animals outside, I just feel like they have less of a chance to become freaks. My personal opinion. Kristen Gates, all of those screaming for gun control bans, etc. I have a question for them. How do you legislate the heart of man? How do you legislate evil? I asked that in our book back in 2014. You cannot legislate evil. You can't. They want to, but you can't. Jennifer, no. Good and evil is being sorted out big time. Yes, ma'am. Shelley Ethington, the left are saying the same things about Charlie's murder as they said when MLK was murdered. I was in 7th grade. Actually, I had a teacher say, N-word got what he deserved. They have not changed. Wow. Oh, my God, Shelley. Lori Weens, that is why I currently don't have a doctor between the jab and other vax info coming out and now this. I just don't trust doctors now. Yeah. And I'm getting older. So a lot of the doctors now, no offense against millennials, Corinne, because you know I love you. But like a lot of the doctors now are literally like 32. And I have kids that are 30 and 35. And I'm like, are you sure that you have a degree in this? Like, I feel like, and it's just weird when you're older and your doctors are like 20 years younger. It's weird, you guys. Like I need doctors that are gray haired. You know what I mean? It's bizarre to me. So anyway, you guys, I need to thank Corinne for being so awesome today. I hope everybody enjoyed meeting Corinne. She's amazing. She did such a fantastic, I know she was nervous. She was nervous coming on, you guys, because you guys are a tough crowd. You guys are tough.
The most energetic audience of any show I've ever done. I'm so excited to be here.
Make sure that you give her all the love. Tell us where people can find you, Corinne, because you are our producer. You're one of our many producers, and she is part of the behind the scenes magic that is Chicks on the Right, but she also has her own little thing. So where can people find you, Corinne?
Well, I'm on freepressfail.com, and I am on X as Corinne C, and on Instagram at Corinne Clark.
Okay, there you go. So you guys can follow her, and then she'll probably be here. I hope you're going to come back tomorrow. Are you scared away, or are you going to be here?
I'm not scared away. Hopefully, if you'll have me, I'll be back tomorrow.
All right, she'll be here with me tomorrow, and make sure you guys pray for Mock, especially around 2:30 today, because she's going to be having surgery today to have that stone removed, and hopefully that will be removed. She will be stone free, and then she will be back with us on Friday. Everybody pray, 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 and we will talk to you tomorrow. Y'all have a lovely day. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.